Hi, Cancer. Hi. Okay, welcome to this space and this time. I want you to feel welcome in whatever new stage you're stepping into. Welcome that new opportunity, okay? I would assume by the environment, the energy of the environment, this is an emotional time. I sense there's a lot of clearing, okay? And connecting back to places, maybe you want to think about when you were really lost, and you found your way, right? Some way or another. The way was found. And I sense I picked up on something where someone is really good at dealing with crisis. Their the ability to handle things quickly and calmly in the moment when it is necessary. There's a skill of that. But I also sense there's a desire or a need or even a want to relinquish the opportunity to be able to create situations that would entail that ultimately. It's interesting too, if you can see this card, there's a card here. This is where you're going, and it is, if you can see, luckily, it is all in the light. There is so much light shining upon this card. Can you see that? So right now you may not be able to see the future in a way, or but you are going, this is going towards the light, right? And what a bright, beautiful light that is. Let's see where you are now. The challenge, the situation is something that you've already dealt with in a way, right? So you're not inexperienced to the situation. But there is because you're conscious of the purification too, right? Has something to do with Scorpio. Let's see where you are. The Ace of Wands. This deck is pretty strong too. It's almost dreamy. And at times nightmarish. It's almost like a bit of both. And there's reality in it, but there's also like these staged parts, where it's, you can't quite tell whether it's real or not. Oh, you're blaming yourself for something. Someone's blaming themselves for something. Or something happened. Something has happened. Something happened that put a fire under someone. Where did you come from? The Seven of Swords. That's some pretty heavy baggage right there. Very uncomfortable position. Very uncomfortable. They felt they must have, they felt like they had to. So it's like something was buried. Something was carried, then something was buried. And then it's like something was now in the moment something's being unearthed because of that. Which is giving the spark back to something. Let's see what that's setting. What that's okay. 7 of Cups. So one doesn't know what to do right now, right? It's so like there's something so new. Someone doesn't know what to do. It's like a little bit of flame and a whole bunch of water, right? So it's hard. It's like trying to start a fire with damp wood. So there's some kind of test that's been happening in relation to other people, right? There's guilt and confusion around it too, in a way. At the moment, a person can only focus on one thing, even though there's a whole bunch of things in front of them. Luckily, they have their head up now versus down. If your head's down, remember there's something you're carrying that you have to bury. Because it's an untruth, and it interrupts the trust between people. Let's see what's beneath the 3 of Swords. You okay? So someone feels like someone doesn't understand their pain. Then maybe no one would understand what it is. And even though there's awareness here of the cycle, of the situation, it's almost like, well, someone feels like right now it's always going to feel like this, or it's always going to be this way. So they keep choosing the same thing to reinforce that mindset. There's a lot of, there is some sadness here in relation to maybe either what was said or what was unsaid. Maybe how something played out. Now again, there's power that comes from it, which evaporates some of the confusion. But underneath it all, there's peace that's being had here, but it's almost like someone's lonely without the connection. Let's see what the challenge is. 6 of Swords. So moving through it. Coming out on the other side of it. Lots of air here. It goes back to this one. What do you think about this card? If you can see, if you can't, there's a man hunched over. He kind of has to be because he's going up this steep mountainside, hillside. He's got a huge square trunk strapped to his back, which has 7 swords sticking out of the top. Not in sheaths or anything, just sort of precariously placed. Like if he hit a rock and fell, he'd probably end up really hurting him. You know, they'd end up hurting themselves pretty badly. So I guess there's a lot of questions to why here. Maybe why a person didn't trust themselves, or why they have a hard time trusting other people. And even though you know, I feel like there's an awareness here of why, like subconsciously, even it's there. There's an awareness consciously of it emotionally. The mental is the subconscious sussing out of this 7 here. Which again is about honesty. It's about communication with other people. And that which is said and unsaid again. So, because again, it's like something needs to be buried here, right? Because actually, this 6 comes before the 7. Right? And there's 6 swords down here in the sand buried. Like little mounds, like little graves. And then there's a man looking out the ocean in a hot air balloon that's seemingly about to go off into a new place. Right? Be picked up from here and go somewhere else. But seemingly, in their aloneness, they decided, well, actually, no, I don't want to bury that. I want to take it with me. And that makes it so heavy. It weighs it down. You know, swords are iron. It's Mars energy. Let's see your next step, which is guided by the light. Very good. Here's some earth energy. Now I have 8 of Pentacles. Well, that's beautiful. So the future is solid. The lesson is learned. This lesson has been learned. This is a multiple lesson, right? It's a roller. Again, you've been here before. So in that, remember how strong you are, okay? Your weakness even has strength in it. Don't forget that. I know it's hard in the moment to understand that at times, but you really do become stronger, and there's something it has to do with who you are and the choices that are made in life. So you're working through all the 7s right now. Here's the 7 of Earth. 7 is the Chariot, right? Makes sense. So this is balancing. There's a sunset energy with this, okay? And Try to acknowledge as much as possible that when that which passes away, something new, it gives an opportunity for option. And there is always a wait. I see there's a waiting period between. So I would take it easy for the next few months also. There's also a lot of water and ocean, so maybe Piscean energy could be helpful. Although there's pain in that too. Because what you're, I guess, meant to do is something that's been frozen or in one place again gets picked up and put into a new place. And I know it would be easier to stay right where you are in the feeling that you have, but and it's good to acknowledge it and to recognize, of course, like, you know, take the mirror and look back at ourselves through the situation, our role in it, right, with these other people, because that's important. But the purely sitting in your suffering is well, that's dangerous for you. You don't need to do that. So also express yourself. Again, remember, in crisis, you are very good at dealing with it, especially with other people. I see that. So knowing who you can lean on and trust, and they can handle like give you guidance or what have you, that's available for you also. I would say with the energy that I'm seeing here, this would be a time of, there are decisions that are things that are happening, but I would give it at least a little bit before taking any action on anything, because there's these internal spaces that are being worked through. You know, and jumping in a bigger way, I'd go a little slower in this time. At least a couple months before something becomes more steady and maybe sussed out. Okay. I hope this was helpful. And thank you for being here. Death, yeah. You know, whatever you're going through right now, I know it hurts. But whatever slivers you're squeezing out, you're going to feel a lot better once the scab falls off, okay? It'll be nice, new, soft. Underneath it, that's just waiting, right? Here in the light. And if you're a praying kind of person, I also see that could be very helpful for you now. Ask God for what you need. It'll arrive. Take care of yourself. And I'll talk to you next time, okay? Take it day by day right now. Focus on what needs, is unsticking, again, those slivers. Okay. Peace.